Team, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a very raw type of video from me today. A little bit different than what I've usually done, but hopefully it's well received and it gives you a little bit of a flavor about what's been on my mind recently, and also I can share some stuff with you and get some really good conversation going. So let's get straight into it, because this has been on my mind for a while. About 6 months, give or take, maybe even longer if I'm being really honest with myself. And it's a big one. And I want to talk about how social media is genuinely killing the coaching profession and the coaching world. Not because it's a bad tool, but because of what it's turning coaching into. And as somebody who's been in this industry for coming up, fast approaching nearly 2 decades, I can tell you that coaching is changing. The landscape of coaching is changing. It's ever evolving. And that's the one thing that we know that coaching is doing. It's constantly changing. But it's not always for the better. What should be a profession built on credibility, built on incredible results, impact, change, education, mentoring, guiding, advising, and actually helping people completely change their life has become a circus of rage bait, call out culture, and a never-ending cycle of coaches trying to assign moralistic values to food, nutrition, and everything that you do on your own health and fitness journey, to prove that they're either smarter than everybody else or to belittle people to feeling like the choices they're making aren't valid. And here's the thing, I care so fucking much about this industry. I love this industry. I'm so passionate about what coaching is and how I deliver my service. But I also care deeply about the information that's being shared within it. And that's why I've got a problem with it, because the coaching profession, I feel, is being devalued by so many people for the sake of likes, for the sake of viewership, for the sake of the big trig word of engagement. And there's probably 3 areas that really frustrate me the most. The first one, without question, is this rage-baiting, attention-seeking economy. And one of the biggest problems right now in the industry, without question, is this rage bait culture. Coaches deliberately posting hot trending topics, knowing full well that they don't believe in that themselves, but what it does do is it gives them engagement. Why? Because engagement equals reach, means more people seeing their platform, means more potential buyers. Guess what? Because some wanky business mentor has told them to keep doing this type of thing. And that number that they see as followership or engagementship is what they determine as success, rather than the results that they're getting and the impact that they're having with people they're working with. But here's the biggest issue. When coaches are doing this, they're not educating people. They're not even coaching people. They're not even giving value. All they're doing is manipulating people, triggering down on their feelings and their emotions and even their fears to try and get a sale or a follow, and heaven forbid somebody comes through at the other end and has done the full cycle with them. For me, this rage baiting attention economy personally is absolutely killing the coaching profession, because trust, and I'm gonna say that big word, trust is the one thing that we are fucking losing in its entirety. I've seen coaches tell people that strength is useless for fat loss. I've seen coaches tell people that if you're trying to strip fat, don't worry about going to the gym, get everything right in the kitchen first before you go to the gym. I've seen people preach carnivore, keto and everything in between, yet in other videos they're sat there with a vape or they're sat there doing recreational drugs. I've seen coaches get these ragey type of clickbaity videos into people so that they drop into their funnel, sign up to their email, and then go through their marketing sequence to come out the other end as a client and wonder why that those people then have big issues. And coaches that are good coaches in this industry have to unpick all of those big problems that have been curated. But saying those type of things, it gets engagement and it gets people onto their page. So they quite literally run with it. I think the biggest thing when it comes to this attention-seeking rage bait culture is that coaches that prioritize engagement over professional credibility and integrity are completely the wrong people to be in this space. And the entire industry suffers because of those type of people. So number one team, rage bait and attention seeking culture. I'm keen to hear your thoughts on number one. What would you say you've seen with this rage bait type of content that's being produced? Have you fell victim to it? Have you seen it? Have you experienced it? What are your thoughts on it? Drop it in the comments below. Let's get a conversation started. Number two, and this one really gets me going. It's this moralizing and moralistic value that we place on either an exercise or even a food group or even diet. These big red X's and these big green ticks over certain food groups, suggesting that things are bad and certain things are good, or exercises are bad and exercises are good. And everybody's doing these wrong things. And when did exercise become either good or bad? When did eating a certain food become either good or bad? Surely we're teaching people about longevity, health, vitality, wellness, and performance. It's all part of this moderation cycle that we should be encouraging people to do. This weird trend that people have assigning a big X and a green to a certain food group or even a certain food isn't just plain fucking stupid. It's dangerous. I've had clients that have come to me and we've had to unpick their beliefs, their viewpoints on certain food groups, because they've listened to that noise that's been portrayed in social media, particularly in the fitness space. People believing they have to go all in on a restrictive diet, which then leads to creating these eating disorders. And EDs are no joke at all. We've got a number of clients that we've dealt with well over the years that have had some absolutely abhorrent viewpoints that have come from coaches that they shouldn't have ever said in the first place. And this is the point where it's down to coaches to then unpick this stuff and try and make right of the wrongdoing that other people have got and done. When in reality, different training methods, different viewpoints around food, it all works, it all matters. What matters more is how the person fits into that. Does it work for them? How do we help that person through that thing that they're trying to understand? There's nothing wrong with keto, carnivore, paleo, veganism, pescatarianism. There's nothing wrong with lifting free weights or using machines, doing barbell work, or throwing yourself into cables every time you go into a session. There's nothing wrong with a bro split or a full body split. There's nothing wrong with doing chest and arms, back and buys. There's nothing wrong with doing explosive work, concurrent. There's nothing wrong with anything. What's wrong is when we assign moralistic values to things that we shouldn't be assigning moralistic values to. We've got to stop making people feel like their choices are what defines their self-worth, because it doesn't, and it's absolutely bullshit. So again, let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on these moralistic values that people place on food or diet or exercise or whatever you've seen come up on Instagram, social media, TikTok, whatever it is. Let me know. It would be really good to hear your experiences, because for the people that I've worked with and experiences that I've had, then nothing good can come of assigning moralistic ticks and X's to things that we use and consume. The third one is this toxic call-out culture in coaching. This trend does nothing to actually educate the coach that's being called out or the people that are consuming that content, but rather it's to make the coach that's calling the person out seem smarter than everybody else. Almost bully somebody into feeling shit about the choices or the things that they've said. And sometimes people say the wrong things, but there is a way we should professionally attack that conversation. There is a way that we should unpick those things, maybe even in the DM. But it's become a game of who can correct the hardest in the public eye to, guess what? Get engagement again. When rather it should be about who can help and impact as many people as possible. That's what we should be striving to do. The problem with this is it creates confusion. So many people get caught in this vicious loop of information that they consume. One coach is saying one thing, he's getting called out, she's getting called out, this other coach is then battering against it, and then it just ends up in this loop of people. What is the actual answer? What do we need to do? What do we need to consume? The everyday person that's trying to improve their health and their performance just gets lost in this noise. And it's any wonder they can't get out of it, because coaches are too busy tearing each other down rather than doing the thing that they are paid to do, which is coach. For me, I think if somebody's content is dead set on calling coaches out or calling other people out to prove a point or prove their own worth of information, we're missing the point of what this coaching profession is. So again, let me know your points on number 3. What do you feel about the call out culture? Is it too much? Have you seen it? How do you feel about it? Do you know somebody that's been through that yourself? Drop them in the comments and let's get a conversation going. So I suppose what's a really important question for me to divulge is understanding what coaching should be, or certainly what it is to me. Not necessarily the world according to Dean, but my opinion of what coaching should be as a profession. And it sums up perfectly with a really simple line. Coaches are the gateway for people's health. We are the gatekeepers for people's health. The NHS now more than ever is in the hardest position that it's in. And as trainers, as coaches, as fitness professionals, whatever you work in, whatever area people call it, we have such a vital role in making sure that the information we're giving out is helping people long term. We should be more proactive in our approach of attacking health, fitness, well-being, longevity, and vitality, rather than be reactive and end up with all of these big problems that we're facing constantly in the UK. And that means we have a responsibility to do better, helping people cut through the noise and understand what really is better health and better performance. So ask yourself, if you're a coach watching this or a trainer watching this right now, ask yourself this very question. Are you truly helping and impacting people's lives? Or are you just feeding the Instagram algorithm because some mentor told you to do so? And if you're somebody consuming this content, I want to say one thing to you. Be really careful about what you consume. Question absolutely everything from everyone. Look for coaches who teach, who educate, who inspire you, who live by their values, and who are consistent in what they say and do. Not necessarily consistent in their beliefs, because they will change over time. The more I've got into coaching over the past 15, 20 years, the more I realize I don't know. And I've changed so many beliefs over the years, I couldn't even tell you half of the things that I've gone through and changed my mind on. Things evolve, science evolves, data evolves, our experience changes. All those experience, our knowledge, skills, and experience all add up into this pot. And as we get better, we start informing different things. And that's what coaching should be about. It should be about a culmination of all of that. And as coaches, we should be able to professionally and credibly share our information to help people like you guide your way through health and fitness. So I'm curious, let me know what your thoughts are. It's something I'm deeply passionate about and I care so much about. I care about this industry and I hate seeing that this industry is in this space and in this way, and it's only causing more damage and harm than it is good. And if you're somebody who's watching this that just values somebody who's giving you a no bullshit approach, is trying to cut through the cloth and all of the crap noise that's out there, and you trust me in what I'm saying, hit subscribe, share this with your friends. It helps me immeasurably and I'm eternally grateful for anybody that does. It actually spurs me on to create more videos that hopefully will help you watching this right now. Because for me, I want to keep calling this shit behavior out. Not in a derogatory, unprofessional way that lacks any credibility, but in a way that is tasteful and in a way that allows you to understand what is right from wrong and how it should maybe look, and give context to some of these subjects, whatever those subjects might be. Ultimately, to give you the tools so that you can live happier, healthier, more fulfilling lives and cut through all of the noise without feeling worthless in the process. So if that sounds good for you, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.